One More Turn. Episode 209. Say So.
You look at me like none of this should come as a surprise. To me.
You could have been there, would have been there, had you not gone to pick up that shipment of ink dye.
The courier missed his stop at our shop. Again. So besides picking up the goods, I needed to go in person to register a complaint about the unacceptable level of service.
That's Max code for, I was gonna complain, but didn't.
I don't like yelling.
Why would you yell? Complaining is confrontational enough.
I know, right? I was already uncomfortable, so the thought of having to yell...
Okay, Max. Let's focus then on the confrontation at hand.
You mean Acme Smith suing Caleb and Carson? Or both?
Possibly.
Possibly.
But no, that's not the confrontation I'm talking about. Confrontations, even.
I don't know what other confrontation you could possibly be referring to.
The change in the arrangements of the ranked multiplayer match, One More Turn Solutions versus Acme Smith.
Is it? Is it really, Nora?
Pretty sure it's a one-on-one turn-based strategy multiplayer match with Observer, all sides recording screen capture for subsequent review and sharing purposes.
Oh, that? That couldn't be in question. The labeling of teams, though? That would be another matter.
I don't know what you could possibly be referring to.
Acme Smith actually isn't represented by Bella anymore.
Actually, it never was Bella, because before now the match wasn't tied specifically to...
If I didn't know you any better, I'd say you'd been spending too much time around Gary.
It's a good thing I know you better, or there would be an incoming laser beam with your name on it.
All the times you've called me on not being able to focus is starting to become really ironic.
Fine, yes. The person representing Acme Smith isn't Bella. That part of the new plan eludes me, actually.
I suspect it has something to do with Acme Smith trying to distance themselves from her after Hudson made that audio clip of them making do available on the webs.
Making do? Wow, that's a new one that already sounds older than the hills.
I also suspect that the reason I'm representing One More Turn Solutions in this match had something to do with you. But it couldn't have been anything you planned because it would take me away from the shop. You're already displeased that my gaming schedule leads to late openings, and this match would lead to an early closing.
Well, to start with that early closing will be a one-time event, right? Well, what else would you expect? Now that Acme Smith has Caleb, Carson, and even Riley on their lawsuit radar, thanks to Avery and the documents she gave, they couldn't very well present the idea of a computer game competition involving any one of them.
All right, I'm following the yellow brick road on that, but what still isn't clear to me is how Acme Smith heard of the offer in the first place. I can't see how they would even acknowledge Caleb or Carson, even Riley, considering the circumstances.
Think worse.
Oh, Riley, how long have you been in the box?
I have a difficult enough time keeping with Carsonisms. I don't have enough strength to do the same with Maxisms.
What Max means is how long have you been on the speakerphone?
That's what I said.
Longer than I probably want to admit.
What do you mean by think worse?
Of a mutual acquaintance that is remotely less than a decent, respectable human being.
You convinced Hudson to deliver the offer in the first place?
You still worry about Max's ability to focus, Nora.
So how is it that I'm considered acceptable to represent One More Turn Solutions in this multiplayer match?
The same way Acme Smith got their representative, their association with the company. One More Turn Solutions did overhaul and still does operate our website.
And Carson does still keep his monthly hair removal appointments. I could make a forest of animals out of the hair I've removed from his...
Oh, please spare me from hearing the rest of that sentence.
+1. Sounds odd when I'm not responding to a post online.
While I have you, Max, tell me, how did you beat Bella to face Caleb in that ladder final?
It was mostly a case of fatigue rather than skill, or even luck.
Continue.
I lured Bella some distance away from her capital early on in the game with an unescorted civilian in one direction while approaching her with combined melee and ranged arms from another.
Then the declaration of war. Don't forget the declaration of...
Hannah,
It sounded like you were forgetting the declaration of war.
how could I forget to retell something when the something hasn't happened yet? In the past of the story, I'm beginning to tell about the thing that
The same way you lose focus in the middle of a conversation. Derping.
And speaking of derping, what happened after the declaration of war?
I caught Bella off guard where she didn't have enough time to build a ranged unit, and too early in the game to have enough gold to buy one.
You unended your turn in the last few seconds, didn't you?
You can say that again, sister. Come to think of it, didn't Bella type in all caps into the game chat afterward, blaming something for her distraction?
Something about her father blaming damage to their mailbox on her dumping her boyfriend.
That's an awfully specific recall. Why would you remember that?
Well, I seem to recall my parents complaining about similar damage to theirs at the time, but... Now, wait a skin-scratching minute here. I've got to believe that Bella was set on battling it out with one or the other brother at One More Turn Solutions. I thought Caleb was going to take Carson's place because he's actually ranked on a ladder. The same one I'm on, in fact. How did Hudson convince her? Neither of you actually know, do you?
Not me.
Ditto.
I never thought I'd say this, let alone care, but what is going on with those two?
One More Turn, written and created by Daniel Dan Q. Quick. Edited by Dark Cloud and ECAT2468. Directed and produced by Daniel Dan Q. Quick. Characters in order of appearance. Max, voiced by Dark Cloud. Nora, voiced by Heather Pawprint42 Motes. Riley, voiced by Stephanie Makalua. Sounds courtesy freesound.org. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Voiceovers by Jordan Lund. Visit the official One More Turn website at onemoreturn.net. Copyright Civilized Communication at civcom.net. On the next episode of One More Turn.
Lines of communication and keeping them open. That's how you achieve and sustain trust. Will you ever pick up on that?
Oh, really now? When you start practicing it, you can preach it.
That's it. Keep at it. Build your relationships on pillars of sand.
At least I'm building.
I call you on your indignation and raise you hypocrisy.